Hey guys, welcome back to Sabzbag's Community Corner. Today we have our special guest, Mrs. ChandraKala Jain, who's going to talk about something quite unique: house with abs. When people discuss their health goals, everyone talks about how they want to have six-pack abs. But have you ever heard of someone who talks about how they want their house to have abs? Our special guest today here has courageously taken up the challenge to not only become healthy herself, but rather build the infrastructure for a health friendly house. So, just to give you a little intro, this house embraces the 0123 nutritional framework as its infrastructure, which makes it easy for all the members of the house to stay healthy. So, let's hear it from our guest what this project is all about. So, how would you describe the Sabzbag House project to someone new?
When I talk about Sabzbag House Project, people become curious and want to know the idea behind this project. I tell them the key idea is whoever lives in the house or visits it is benefiting. With the 0123 nutritional framework in place, it becomes easy for all the members to follow a healthier routine.
What inspired you to get involved with this project?
Well, a few years ago, my husband was obese, pre-diabetic, and had trouble walking. We felt the immediate need was to reduce his weight. We were looking for something simple and effective diet plan which he could follow consistently, supported by easy to follow exercise routine. At that time, my son introduced us to 0123 nutritional framework which emphasizes on consuming more vegetables and protein and less of grain.
Can you briefly explain what the 0123 framework recommends?
This framework suggests consuming zero serving of processed food, one serving of grain, two servings of legumes, and three servings of vegetables. It is quite simple actually. We just had to rearrange our ratios of daily meals. My husband and I planned our daily meals using this framework and followed it consistently for over 6 to 8 weeks of time. And we were able to achieve desired result. At the end of the 8 weeks, my husband lost some weight. His work improved and his sugar levels were back to normal, and he felt more energetic. After seeing these results, I was quite inspired to make it our lifestyle rather than follow it as a short term plan.
That's quite inspiring. What's interesting to me is that you thought of making this a lifestyle, which means it's sustainable over time. Because quite a lot of times I hear people saying that they're following a short term diet plan only until they achieve the results, but they won't continue beyond that. So that's quite motivating. So, when you were starting all this, what was your first step to making your house more health friendly?
As most of you might experience in your day to day life, we are inclined to consume sugar in some form or the other. The first step I took was to start with zero processed food in the house. To make my house health friendly, I started with reducing sugar consumption. For this, we did a fun experiment.
An experiment? That sounds really cool. How did you do it? And did you achieve the results that you wanted?
I allotted 1 jar per person and attached name slips to each jar. This way, we could track our consumption level on a monthly basis. In fact, I had to change the cutlery in place. I started using smaller cups for tea and had smaller serving spoons for sugar. I would say this experiment actually proved to be more challenging than we had expected. We also got into conflict over sugar at times and we started running out of sugar within the first half of the month. This almost became a game, actually, as we challenged each other who would survive the longest. We are still enjoying as we continue with this game even now.
Impressive how creatively you broke down this difficult task of changing your lifestyle into fun little experiments. Because even though you make it sound so effortless, but changing even a small habit takes a lot of discipline. So, along this journey, what would you say was a major challenge that you faced?
I would say that my biggest challenge were my insecurities. As about being a good host and a good cook. It was challenging to devise new dishes or recreate the existing ones that are tasty, inviting, and fit the 0, 1, 2, 3 parameters. Our families and relatives are accustomed to consuming snacks and meals that are traditionally lower in nutritional value but encourage cravings. So, naturally, I was concerned about the response of my guests to the unconventional taste of the food I was about to offer. Also, I was fiddling with this idea. What was the social cost I was ready to pay to follow this project? I was wondering if this was really worth trying or it would alter my interaction with my guests.
Of course, food is the heart of social interactions, and moving away from the conventional taste seems pretty risky, to say the least. How were you able to look past these insecurities and overcome these challenges?
To me, the benefits of this project was far greater than the cost associated with it because I could clearly see that my family members were healthier and more energetic. It is certainly an ongoing process. You can overcome the current challenges and the next day new ones pop up. With this project, every day is a new experiment. I also find interactions and engagements with the Subspark community very helpful to keep going. Everyone shares different recipes and cooking methods on daily basis. It boosts our morale and nurtures feelings of belongingness. We also regularly fill the health app that tracks how we are eating on a daily basis and encourages a friendly competition between the community members as we all compete to be on top of the leaderboard.
Oh, that sounds really fun. I agree. Community plays a key role to support and motivate us. It provides us the feeling of belongingness that you're not on this alone. And as you mentioned, sharing different ideas about different ingredients and dishes gives you that confidence to experiment and continue doing that. But I wanted to know, how did this affect your relationship outside of the Subspac community?
It opened up more health related conversations among family members as well as the guests. We realized that most of us were facing more or less similar health issues like high blood pressure, heart related problems, gastric problems, etc. These conversations definitely brought us closer as we understood that our common goal was to look good and remain healthy.
Now that you've been involved with this project for over 6 months, have you noticed any changes in the way you approach food and cooking in general? Or did you pick any new habits along the way?
Oh, certainly, this project transformed the way now I approach food. The focus has now shifted from taste and appearance of the food to its nutritional value. Now I experiment with dishes to fit the parameter of 0, 1, 2, 3 nutritional framework without compromising on the taste. Now our meals are more wholesome and balanced. I would say our food completely looks different from before what it looked like.
Are there any particular examples that come to your mind?
My cooking methods have changed. For example, earlier my cooking involved many steps. Now I have reduced the number of the steps involved in cooking to preserve the nutritional value of the food. In many ways, we have started respecting our body by being mindful and more conscious of what we eat. We have also planted our kitchen garden where we grow our own herbs and greens that add more flavor to our plate and pleasure to our day.
And do you currently have any next steps planned for the Subspac project?
I'm working towards making the Sabzbag house a very real and doable thing. Though it is a slow process, but I am enjoying what it has to offer. The next step of my plan is to work on 1 servings of grains per meal. In India, A traditional plate usually has at least two servings of grains. So my goal is to lower our grain consumption, also to consume more whole grains rather than processed grains. So now I'm thinking of my next experiment.
I truly believe that this project is quite empowering because you're becoming healthy along with your entire family. So, thank you very much for taking the time today and sharing your journey with us. Good luck with your next experiment. We can't wait to hear about it in the next conversation.